Hello, my name's Frances Letters. I'm a writer. I live in Armidale, a country town in New South Wales, Australia. I'm making this video because this morning I woke up and heard on the radio some stories about Muslim women being abused in the street and having their veils ripped off. In the streets of our easygoing, tolerant, laid-back country. Now, honestly, that just freaked me out. It was utterly sickening. Some jihadis in the world are doing appalling things, but for umpteen convoluted reasons, fear and hatred against Muslims as a group is being whipped up round the world. Stoking up hatred for a common enemy is the perfect, age-old way to cement yourself in power. Us and them. So I had a small idea that just might help calm us down, that might help us see the world through new, more cheerful eyes. I thought, veils. Scarves. Have you noticed how rare it is these days to see an Aussie woman covering her hair with a scarf? A generation ago, everyone wore them. They're wonderfully useful things. When I worked on Women's Day, we could always come up with some bright little feature like 10 attractive new ways to tie a scarf. But now, as dread symbols of Islam, they're a total fashion taboo. No one would be seen dead in one. Only the Queen and Princess Anne would dare to ignore the fashion police these days. So, the Solidarity Headscarf. Since the Tampa hullabaloo and 9/11, occasionally when I visit Sydney or Melbourne, I screw up the courage to tie a scarf Muslim fashion around my head. Then I venture out into the street to test the waters. Very reluctantly and nervously, I must say. I'm not at all brave. We've all heard talkback radio spewing venom. We've all seen those thrashing fists on the beach and the Aussie flags brandished in triumph and pure hatred. Now, in fact, when I've done this, no one has ever openly insulted me. No one has spat or ripped off my scarf. But the interesting thing is, people certainly notice. A couple of kindly souls will go out of their way to smile warmly, and I know they want to be kind to a vulnerable outsider. But there are many, many cool blank stares. Blank. Even some frankly hostile ones. I'm painfully aware that I'm waving a red rag at a bull. Some of the looks have even made me think, now at least I have an inkling of what it must have been like to wear a yellow star. It's a relief to finally slip away and pull the wretched thing off. It's actually, though, a quick and easy experiment that anyone can try. Most of us good, nice, white citizens can never personally experience what, for example, Aboriginal people go through every day. Their reality of living under white power. We are just completely unaware of it. But pop on a headscarf, or if you're a guy, a skull cap, maybe a false beard too, and instantly anyone can get a peep into an outsider's life. And the stress and insecurity that they feel. I know it sounds superficial, but honestly, it is incredibly valuable. So, in times of high tension, if anti-Muslim feeling is threatening, maybe some of us non-Muslims could try it, perhaps with a friend or two. Islamic green like this might even be the preferred colour. This was a shawl that belonged to my dear Spanish mother-in-law. But of course the colour is not important. Anyhow, it would be a bit like the servant in Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves who saw a strange sign on the door, on the front door, and suspecting a threat, she went round all the neighbourhood and drew the same sign on every door, so the murderers didn't know which house to attack. Donning the scarf might be a bit scary, but it would show a sort of protective solidarity with our Muslim fellow citizens. There's something I'd like to add. You know, we've been through hatred before and come out fine on the other side. There used to be a real chasm between Catholics and Protestants, and it could be very bitter indeed. But that intolerance has practically vanished into thin air. So what's with this anti-Muslim venom that's come slithering into our lives recently? We've been there, done that. Gradually we learnt the truth, that Catholics and Protestants are made of the same stuff, have the same longings, are motivated by the same emotions. How tragic and stupid to have to go through it all again with a different cast of characters. I'm sure I'm not the only Australian who years ago used to wait uneasily during news crime reports, praying the robber wouldn't turn out to be a Patrick Kelly or a Sean O'Leary. Those names might reflect badly on all of us Catholics. There they go again, those Catholics. Then, as successive waves of migrants began to arrive and took their places at the bottom of the heap, it was Giuseppe or Aristotle that I dreaded to hear. Later, it was Cheng or Tran. Now, in their turn, it's Muhammad or Aziz. I have to say, it's a downright relief when the crook turns out to be plain old Brett or Graham or Bradley. What group can we blame then? So, anyone for headscarves? Solidarity scarves? Who knows what good it might do? It'll certainly be an experience for ourselves.